Hey, what's up everybody? This is Backyards for Birds. So today, what you're looking at here is a part of my back lawn. Well, it used to be my back lawn. A couple years ago I tilled up about half of it and planted a bunch of wildflower seeds and some sunflower seeds and a few kind of perennial plants. And I think I've got a chokecherry bush in there that's just starting. I decided I didn't want to do any more lawn mowing and watering since I never used the lawn for myself, so I thought I'd put out a kind of a little nature garden. In the last 2 years it actually has done quite well. I've had a lot of wildflowers, even just the cheap wildflowers from the dollar store. Germinated and grew and did quite well, and I've had a lot of sunflowers in here, and from all this I've had a lot of birds, and even more so what I was gearing towards, a lot of butterflies and a lot of bees in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm changing it up a little bit. Instead of just having solid wildflowers and sunflowers in this patch, I'm actually going to put a bunch of kind of small to moderate sized bushes in there and kind of mix that in with the wildflowers and other things that I put in there each year, the sunflowers, to kind of give a little bit more kind of diversity, I guess you'd say, kind of attract some more birds, and hopefully the bushes will attract pollinators when they bloom in the spring. So, and then I'm going to put my bird bath back in there. So kind of made a little bit of everything in here. I've got sections that I've got strictly, I'm going to on the left side of the screen. Over here I've got a strip where I'm going to put just a row of wildflowers, and along the house I've got a row of wildflowers already planted, some seeds, and then I've got a row what I call pollinator row over to the left that has some pollinator plants, milkweed, a chokecherry for swallowtail, a host plant, and some Russian sage and some other stuff. So anyway, what we're going to do today is clean this area up a little bit. It's time of the year where I'm going to mow this down and just kind of, I let everything be. I don't rake it up or throw the weeds and the leaves away. I just let everything kind of compost in place. Kind of feeds the dirt and kind of helps keeps the weeds down. And believe it or not, you'll find some critters that actually use this stuff on the ground. In fact, the other day when I was over here on the side of my house digging up that area there, I was spreading out some compost that I had down at the end, and I had a couple of garden snakes that were hibernating in that compost. So you'll be surprised the way you find in a pile of leaves and a pile of weeds and stuff in your yard. So everything can be beneficial to nature, believe it or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the lawnmower and mow this stuff down, and then I'm going to spread out some wildflower seeds and just kind of rake it in, and I just let nature take its course. Part of the way I do this is, part of the reason why I do this is I don't want to put a lot of time into this, because it's supposed to be a low maintenance project. So I don't want to spend my time just doing a lot of gardening and yard work, which is kind of defeats the purpose from what I'm doing. My whole goal here is twofold: one, a low maintenance yard, and two, bring in a lot of birds, bees, butterflies, and anything else kind of nature wise. So I don't do a lot of landscaping, and I don't make it look very precise and pretty. It does occasionally look a little bit unorganized and a little bit in disarray, but that's basically how nature is in a lot of ways. It's not always well groomed and well manicured. It kind of looks like a big patch of weeds, but that's where you usually find your most diversity and your most creatures. So I typically don't worry about my yard being well manicured. Now my brother, who you'll see on these videos and on my blog, his yard is very well manicured and very well taken care of, and he does get a lot of birds and a lot of bees and stuff, but he puts a lot of time into kind of getting it started, and then once he gets it done, the rest of the year he doesn't have to do a lot in it. But I don't I don't plan on doing it to that level. I let mine kind of be what nature's going to let it be. It's just kind of how it is. I've got an acre and a third here, and it's a lot to take care of anyway. So we're going to try and plant some stuff in here and get stuff to grow and get stuff to be beneficial, but it'll probably never be quite as well manicured as my brother's. Down the road, I hope it does get better. Hope we can, over time, do a few landscaping things to make it look a little bit more organized. But for me, I kind of subscribe to the philosophy of, as long as it works, that's more important than what it looks like. So I would rather it be more functional for birds, bees, and butterflies than it just look good. Ideally, I'd like to have both, but right now I'm more concerned about just attracting birds, bees, and butterflies. And then once I get that established, then I'll start worrying about cleaning it up and making it a little nicer, maybe putting in some curbing and some more mulch and stuff to kind of keep some of the unwanted weeds down. But my main goal is birds, butterflies, and bees, and attracting them into the yard so I can photograph them, so I can watch them and just enjoy them and just help the native populations out a bit, especially like the monarchs. And the last few years, the swallowtail butterflies around here have had a rough time because of the cold, wet springs we've had. After a lot of the butterflies have emerged, we've lost a great number of them, so the populations are way down. So I like to do what I can to help out kind of the local nature scene. So that's why I always put the phrase I always hear is function over form, I guess. I'd rather my yard function for wildlife than just look good. So that's kind of the goal. Someday, hopefully, we'll get it all a little bit nicer and organized. But for now, I just want it to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to first mow all this stuff down since it's past its usefulness now, and spread out some wildflower seeds and rake everything in. And then we're actually going to start putting some bushes in here. I've got an elderberry bush I'm going to put in here a little later on when it gets a little bigger. The reason I'm waiting is I'm a little nervous about earwigs. Earwigs eat a lot of things around here, and which is I'm waiting for some chickens to come later this year and hopefully take care of a lot of those creatures that eat a lot of my vegetation that I plant. So I may or may not plant the elderberry bush today, but this whole area here is going to have kind of sporadic bushes in it of different varieties. So that's kind of the plan for this summer, is put in 5 or 6, 7 bushes or so, kind of spread out around and kind of around the bird bath. So that's what the plan is for this area, and hopefully throughout the summer we'll see some progress and we'll see some of the benefits of bringing in more birds and more butterflies. So what we're going to do now is to get started and kind of get the process rolling. All right, we just finished mowing. As you can see, it's all mowed down, nice and flat and even. And we just kind of let everything lay where it's going to lay and kind of compost into the ground this summer. Over here, this is what we're going to do right now. This is what I call pollinator row. On the left side, it's just going to be wildflowers and some more milkweed seeds. And the right side's already got some perennials in there and a couple of bushes and stuff and some sage. So right now, we're going to take these wildflowers right here. We get them from the dollar store, and there's a baggie of milkweed, and we're just going to spread them into this area here and rake them in real quick. If you can hear, you can probably hear the sparrows chirping up into these trees. I get a lot of sparrows here, so they tend to come down after the seed, so I got to rake them in real quick. Otherwise, they kind of clean me out. Now, you might be wondering why I don't till this area under, get all that stuff underground. And the reason being is, a couple years ago is when I started this. I tilled it under. It's basically all lawn. So I tilled the grass under and kind of got it all just dirt and turned it over real good. And I planted some wildflower seeds, and a lot of those wildflower seeds are perennials, and they come up last year. So I'm going to wait and see if they come up again. They should come up. Most of them are perennials in these boxes that I use, so at least a lot of them are. So I'm going to wait and see if those perennials come up again like they did last year, and let them be. And I'm going to add some more seeds into this area here, just kind of on top, and rake them in like the others. But the reason I'm not tilling this under is I want to see if those wildflower seeds come up for the 3rd year, so which they should. So we're just gonna see. So I'm gonna let it be for a year and just kind of gonna let it happen. And if they don't come up very good this year, I'll probably till it under next year and start over and do it again. So but I'll have some bushes in here, so I won't have as much area to do. So that's kind of the plan why it's not getting tilled under, is we're gonna see if the seeds come up that I planted 2 years ago again. So anyway, let's get started on putting some seeds down. Let me move my tripod over here. All right, we've got the seeds raked in, and we're good to go. We just start watering it and let nature take its course. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, but I'm going to do it on another day because I got to get some more seeds. But that's basically the plan, and then have some bushes over there. As you can see, got it all raked in. So I'm excited to see what comes up this year. Hopefully the milkweed does well. I've never done good getting milkweed to come up from seeds. I've done good from start. I've actually had some success transplanting them, but not many people have. I've actually transplanted a lot of young, what I get here is showy milkweed, which is native out here, and I've actually transplanted some of them with pretty good success, believe it or not. That's not a very common plant that transplants well, because they usually grow from rhizomes, basically other plants, and I guess if you cut it or you don't get enough of the root or all the root or something, the plant doesn't do well or dies. So, but last year I was able to plant 4 or 5, actually it was 2 years ago, I was able to transplant 4 or 5 milkweeds in my backyard here. So it's like, I actually got it to work, but I don't count on transplanting milkweed because it doesn't, supposedly not supposed to work. And I don't have much luck with seeds. So most of the milkweed I have in my place is wild, but unfortunately it's out on the edges where it gets sprayed with Roundup from the agricultural fields, and when they clean the ditches and stuff. So I'm trying to move more of the milkweed in this interior part where it's far away, where it's not going to get sprayed with herbicides. So anyway, that's kind of the project for today. I think the last thing I'm going to do is just move the bird bath out here and kind of start put some water in it. I've got bird bath at another location in the yard, but I'm going to move the one here back out and start using it, because I'm going to put the bushes out here this summer. So I'm also get the birds starting use the bird bath here, since I'm going to take the other one down. So anyway, if you like this channel, if you like birds, bees, butterflies, just any kind of nature in the backyard, hit the subscribe button, and you can also follow us on our new blog, backyardsforbirds.com. So if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them. Just put them in the comments below. I'm not a professional or expert gardener. I'm a bird guy, a butterfly guy. I love photography and I love the nature things, but I can answer them the best I can, or hopefully at least send you in a direction where you can get some answers. So feel free to post up in the comments if you got questions, comments, or anything else, and we will catch you on the next video.